In today's video, I'm going to be installing these on that in preparation for my move from Tucson to Columbus. So there's a few things that I need to do to get the Lexus ready for the move. Number one being build a spare tire carrier that swings out of the way of the rear hatch. And then number two is going to be replacing the two rear springs to account for that extra weight. And then also account for the rooftop tent and the drawer system. It's sagging just a little bit right now, and I want to get rid of all of that sag. So yeah, let's open up this box, check the springs out, get this thing up in the air, swap the springs out, and then measure the Lexus, see where it's at. Alright, so got the springs unboxed. These are the C59-701V springs from Dobinsons. It appears that they are the same height, which I was always told that there was a driver's side and passenger side specific spring to account for the weight of the gas tank. Considering that the springs are the same size and the part numbers are even the same, there's no variation or anything between these two spring wise, I'm just gonna throw them in. So let's get the GX up in the air and throw the springs in. So another thing that I have to do before I build this spare tire carrier is this plate that bolts to the frame here, this cross member that then bolts to this hitch. His bolt holes don't line up, number one. Number two, I don't have any bolts for them. I'm guessing that this tow package is off of a 4th gen 4Runner, and that's why they're not lining up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna weld it on. I'm gonna weld it on here and then around this side. So I'm not gonna pull this off to necessarily get all of this coating off to get good penetration. I just need some extra support for the weight of the spare tire carrier. I'm not gonna be towing with this GX. I just need extra support. So I'm gonna get this coating off of the front here and whatever I can reach, but the coating back here in the back, I'm literally gonna be burning through paint, and that's okay for today's project. No, not quite. Better than nothing. Cool, that works. Swap out the rear springs. Alright, so the technique that I've found to get these rear springs swapped out the easiest is going to be to actually unbolt these shocks from the axle side, and then actually unbolt this panhard bar, and then that'll let the axle droop a little bit more. From there, you can try to get the springs in one by one. If you need more flex and articulation to get the springs in, then you can actually start to unbolt these lower control arms and or upper control arms, essentially just leaving the drive shaft connected. So I don't know how big these springs are in comparison to these icons, but they are going to be bigger, so we'll see. And of course, in Arizona we do get monsoons, and it's starting to monsoon right now, so I'm gonna get this other side supported with the jack and then drop the shock out. Driver's side is out. Let's take them to the bench and compare. That's a much bigger spring. So with this spring swap, I wanted to get like an extra 2 inches of lift. It looks like I'm definitely gonna get that, maybe even a little bit more. Let's try to get these new springs on, and then we'll compare ride height afterwards. Can't forget to install these either, the spring isolators. Yeah, these suckers are huge. Alright, so I've got the panhard bar unbolted, the upper link unbolted, and then the lower link unbolted, but also loosened at the frame side. If you keep that bolt tight, then this lower link's going to want to stay up in this position. So you just loosen it and it lets the lower link drop. So it's important that whenever you do that, you only tighten it back up when the weight of the vehicle is completely on the ground. Otherwise you'll get some unwanted tension on the bushings. So I'm going to unbolt the links on the other side, lower this axle down, and then try to get the springs in. Because just doing that was not working. Number one. Number two, dangerous. Let's do it the right way, yeah? Cool. Alright, it's the next day. I got the springs installed, and it's really tall. Super tall. Which actually isn't that bad. It's just barely taller than the front end right now. And if you imagine, I'm about to be hanging a pretty heavy spare tire off of the back of this, so it should even it out pretty well. The only issue that I'm running into is that the shocks now need to be replaced. I knew that going into this, so let's go get some new shocks installed. Going over to Zona Motorsports, seeing my buddy Bobby. He's the dealer for ADS suspension. If you didn't know, ADS suspension is made here in Tucson, Arizona, and it stands for Arizona Desert Suspension. Can't go wrong with ADS. ADS, King, Fox, Icon, they're all up there. I'd put ADS at the very top. Quick look at the new springs. Alright, made it over here to Zona. Got the swamp cooler going early. It's 7 a.m. Got the GX up in the air. Yeah, there's essentially stock shocks on this, so what we're going to be replacing it with, these guys, ADS 2.5 inch shocks. with remote reservoirs. There's the part number. So just got to pull the wheels off and then unbolt the shocks and then swap them out for the new ones. Got to find some jack stands first. Got the shocks on the bottom and then up through the top mounting holes with the isolators, washers, and the nuts. And then, yeah, it's a really tight fit getting those washers and nuts on there. That's what Bobby's fighting with on the other side. Again? What? Thanks. I was literally talking about it while that happened. If you don't want to cut into your what would you call that, like the seam of the body, the pinch weld of the body, then you're gonna have to fight with it like this. I told Bobby that I'm open to cutting it. He would just rather do it like this because it's cleaner, he says, quote unquote.
Yeah. Oh man, that time it didn't come down.
Uh-oh.
It's right here.
Nuts in the frame?
No, it's right here.
There's gonna be a washer in there from the old shock too.
Got it.
Cool. These shocks actually also come with these mounts, simple mounts from ADS. I was thinking get this mounted, bring them home, maybe pull the mounts off, paint them black. They sell hose clamps like that with like rubber built onto them, so I'm probably going to swap them out for those. Yeah, that's what he's dealing with right there. Real tight. That's where we had to relocate the reservoir to. We originally had it forward more, but it wouldn't clear the tire on the driver's side. So that's how it's gonna look from the side. They're working over here. Fucked up. Gonna get the lug nuts torqued, get it on the ground. Take for a drive. Just left Bobby's shop, and so far this thing is riding amazing. Haven't taken on it, I haven't seen any bumps on the road to really like feel how different the rear feels, but so far it's just floating. This thing is floating on the road. This road right here, Romero, between Wetmore and Prince, it's pretty bad, so we'll see how the rear suspension feels. I'd imagine it's gonna feel amazing. Brand new Dobinsons springs in the rear, the 701Vs with brand new ADS shocks in the rear, remote reservoir. It's probably gonna feel amazing. All right, so this part of the road's not very good. The rear feels amazing. Feels amazing. It's soaking up these bumps, no problems. No problems. So the front end is what I'm gonna have to upgrade next. If you guys hear that clunking noise, I want to say that that's like the rag joint on the steering column. It's either like a rag joint in the steering column up near the steering wheel or down towards the actual rack and pinion. I've been chasing that noise for a while. Yeah, so far this thing feels amazing. Alright, so part of the prep for the GX470 for the drive from Tucson to Columbus is going to be doing some maintenance. So I'm going to be doing an oil change, air filter, and cabin air filter while I'm at it. I was always told that you only want to do regular maintenance before a long drive. You never want to change out a large component before you hit the road for 1,800 miles. So that's why I'm keeping it simple. Plus, there's nothing else that I really need to do right now. Nothing that's serious. So let's get this oil changed, cabin air filter changed, and then engine air filter changed. Get the skid plate back on, and then start it up, check the oil level, and then we'll be ready to build a swing out tire carrier. Building a swing out tire carrier because I need to bring a spare with me. I'm putting a 35 on this, by the way, but this is going to be hitch mounted. So actually, by the time I finish building that tire carrier with Bobby over at Zona, my computer that I used to edit all of these videos will actually already be packed up. So you guys unfortunately won't see me for a while. I'll see you guys again when I get to Columbus, get my computer unpacked, get everything set up, hooked up to Wi-Fi, and then start filming again. So join the ride, let's see where it takes us. That's what I always say, and right now it's taking us to Columbus. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around, even though I've been inconsistent lately. So it's gonna get better once I get over there and once I start actually having a lot more time on my hands on the weekends to film and edit videos. So as always, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. Have a good night. Later.